Today we're going to take a look at the iWork 15-piece smartphone repair kit from Olympia Tools. You can find links to this driver set and more by visiting gocellphonerepair.com/tools. There are also links in the video description. The first thing you'll probably notice about this kit is that the outside cover is transparent, so it's easy to take a look inside and see what you get. On the back, you can see that they list an aluminum telescopic precision screwdriver, suction cup, 2 mini pry bars, a mini puller, which I can only assume is meant to be the SIM ejector. Then we got the storage box and 10 precision bits, including your PH00, PH000, a 1.2 millimeter flathead tri-point, Pentalobe driver for iPhones, so you will not be able to use this Pentalobe driver to open MacBooks. This is the 0.8. With any iPhone from the 4 all the way up to the 6S, you should be able to remove the exterior screws at the bottom. We've got a T4, 5, and 6, and then a T8 and T10 security bit. And I'm not sure why they included those. I haven't seen any phone that I can think of that would require a T8 or a T10, but it's there anyways. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. First thing that I noticed about this packaging is that obviously it's designed for retail stores. There's a hook at the top you can hang it from, but also this little sliding lock here on the side is a little bit rough. It's not as smooth as you would expect. It does work, but you've got to kind of get it at the right angle. Also, we've got these two little plastic pins that keep the case shut, so you're going to have to pry these out the first time that you use the tools. I assume this is to prevent the box from accidentally opening in transit. I'm not sure why. It's kind of strange that they've got this thing sealed with these pins, but in any case, you can either cut them off or pry them. I did use a razor blade and then switched over to a flathead screwdriver, and they just kind of pop out from the front, or you can probably push them through from the backside if you prefer. So once you slide that little black piece up on the right hand side, you'll notice that it will lock the case into position when it's down. Slide it up if you want to open it. And again, not real smooth, but it is functional. The first thing that I noticed about this driver is its weight. It is a little heavier than most of the drivers that I've worked with. You can see they've already got the T10 bit inside the driver. And again, I'm not sure what kind of phone you could use this on, but we're going to switch that out here shortly. I wanted to take a closer look at the handle on this. It does have a nice grip. As you can see, there's a textured kind of diamond shape. So very easy to hold on to this and get a good grip on it. That is not going to be a problem at all. Now there's a metal collar here that goes around the bottom end of the handle. And what this does is it puts pressure up against a bearing that holds the bit in place. So as you remove this bit, that little bearing kind of pushes back inside the driver and it puts tension against it so it stays in place. I did not have any trouble with the bits coming in or out, and it didn't feel loose at all. So it was pretty secure once I got it inside the driver. I'm going to try to get a shot of the inside here so you can take a look at that bearing. And there's a kind of a close-up. You can see what that looks like, and it's just a single ball bearing that pushes up against the blade when you have it installed in the handle. The end of the handle does spin, and it's very smooth, so I assume there's some sort of bearing system in there also. But the whole thing overall doesn't feel uncomfortable in any way. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to the Pentalobe bit so we can test it out on an iPhone 6S. And you can see, hopefully you can see they've got printed on the bit here, pentagonal, one of the many terms used for pentalobes. What's interesting is if you pull on the end of the driver where the bit is installed, it's got some movement up and down, and I'm not sure why that is unless it has something to do with the telescopic function here. Now on the inside we've got a couple of crowbars. These are heavy duty. They're not like the cheap ones that you get with phone repair kits. These are more along the lines of the type of material that iFixit uses on the crowbars that they sell with their Protect toolkit. So they're pretty heavy duty. They don't last very long no matter what. The thing about crowbars, they do eventually get scarred up. Here we have our SIM ejector, which will usually get lost very quickly if you don't keep track of your tools. We've got a suction cup, probably one of the smallest suction cups I've ever seen for a phone repair kit. So that's kind of unusual, but that is really a tiny suction cup. So here I've got my 6S, and I'm going to go ahead and just check out the Pentalobe bit. And it does seem to fit very nice and snug, doesn't slip around, so definitely precise enough to be used on an iPhone. They kind of came pre-magnetized, but once I put this on the magnetizer, it became stronger, so that's a plus. You can definitely magnetize the bits on this set. It makes it a lot easier to get your screws seated and not drop them. And here's the fun part. If you pull up on this collar, you can actually extend this thing quite a bit. And now I'm not sure why they included this feature. I can't remember ever being in a situation with a phone repair where I needed to have a longer handle on my driver. So I'm not sure exactly what that's for, but if you want a longer reach for any reason, you definitely have that ability with this driver. I'm gonna go ahead and put these Pentalobe screws back into my phone, and then I'm gonna try out one of the other bits. Here I'm using the PH000, and it does work just fine on my Samsung Note 3 screws. It even works on that iPhone 4 corner screw that we all know and don't really love very much. Another interesting thing about this kit, I thought that these bits looked very similar to another that I had used, so I took out my iFixit Protect toolkit, and these bits are actually interchangeable. So if you've got a couple sets or either of these, they can definitely be used. If you lose one bit, you can change over. You have a greater assortment with the iFixit kit, and if you lose one of the bits from the iWork, you can always substitute it with one of those from the iFixit toolkit. Now I've got some techs that love this kit and some that don't, so it's kind of a matter of personal preference. Myself, I like the feel of my Husky drivers a little better than this particular handle, but I do like the way that this is organized inside of the case, so it's very easy to find what you're looking for and you're less likely to lose anything. At the same time, I've had more than one report of cracked bits, especially on the crosshairs. So while I don't think it's very likely that you'll ever break your bits if you're using them properly, I've had some people who probably got into tough situations and tried to do a little bit of prying, and that did not work. It ended up cracking the bit. So you do want to be very careful with these and only use them as they are intended to be used. For the price, this is not a bad set. You get a decent variety of drivers, the majority of what you'll need to work on iPhones and Samsung Galaxy series. So at about 16 bucks, it's a pretty good deal. Not something I would recommend for long-term use, but if you're doing a few side projects here and there, or you're just getting started, this is a very inexpensive way to get a lot of the bits that you're going to need and a decent quality driver made by Olympia, which is a pretty well-known name in the tool industry. If you found the video helpful, like it, share it, check out my channel for more tutorials and product reviews, and most of all, remember to hit the subscribe button. Feel free to leave your feedback in the comments section, and thanks for watching.